Hi, welcome to another episode of Dion Hamill Illustrations, where I demonstrate illustration techniques I use in my day-to-day projects as a professional illustrator. Today I wanted to show you how to create variations in your character facial features. Often as an illustrator you can be asked to draw multiple character faces within a single project, and you don't want to risk all your characters looking the same. But to create different looking characters is really easy. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do this using 3 different drawings, starting with the basic structure I use for drawing the head from scratch. First, I'm going to make 3 identically sized boxes for the head shapes. I start with a box because it's easier to create accurate proportions when using straight lines rather than curved ones. So although the head is made up of many curved areas, the straighter lines help mark out key areas for the proportions. The cross sections will again help me determine where facial features and structures will go on both sides of the head. If you want to see a more detailed step-by-step process, I recommend you check out the free guide I've made available using the link in the description below. You can read the step-by-step guide with full descriptions of how this process works. Next, I draw a circle with a line midway to indicate the brow and mark the position of the base of the chin. The nose will sit halfway between the two. Then I'll draw 2 vertical lines to indicate the positions of the side of the head. The next series of horizontal lines determine the position of the mouth, lower lip, and the eyes. I indicate where the eyes sit and the 2 lines from the inside of the edge for the sides of the nose. As I begin to define the features more clearly, I can start to think about what I want the features to look like. The first part of the head drawing process was to determine what the shape of the head will be and the placement of the features. And now this part of the process works out the size, shape, and look of those features. This is when you start to think about the 3-dimensionality of the head shape, where parts protrude and recede, always keeping in mind that you are working with a curved surface rather than just a flat 2D object. So by this point I'm adding in the smaller details, shadows, wrinkles, and folds in the skin to create a more lifelike impression of the character. For the next head drawing, I'm going to start off with the same basic structure, but I'm going to make the base of the chin a little longer to imply a longer face. In this instance, this will make the base of the nose much further from the brow line than in the previous character design. Ideally, you may not want to make your features positions too extreme, as this can make them seem overly exaggerated and caricature-like. However, by doing sketches like these, you can see what works out and what doesn't. Pushing the extremes helps you practice where and how to place your features for future designs. For this face, I'll narrow the nose and mouth, as I'm thinking 3-dimensionally about how the chin is a bit narrower. This might cause a narrowing of the inside of the jaw and mouth and base of the nose if it were a real person. Let's also age this character a bit, making the eye sockets a bit deeper with more wrinkles and sagging of the skin around the eyes, and I'll also add in some facial hair, but a little balding going on there at the top. Okay, for the final character, I'm going to use the exact same length of the face as face number 2, but let's change some of the structure of the head for a different look. And this one is going to be a vampire looking character. I'm thinking something like an old 60s B-grade horror style. This time I'll indicate the base of the nose a little higher than midway between the brow and the chin. I'll keep the mouth opening in the top third between the nose and the chin, but I'll also position the eyes a little higher than halfway. And let's narrow the sides of the head a little, giving the face a more elongated look. Okay, so I've skipped ahead here as I accidentally forgot to record the rest of the third head's process. But as you can see, the end result is a totally different character, yet we've used the same basic head structure. So by adjusting a few of the lines used in the initial layout, you can create an endless amount of characters. I thought I'd have a bit of fun with the final head and add in a few more details. To do that, I've placed a sheet of tracing paper over the top of the sketch. That way, instead of erasing the unwanted lines, I can focus on just the lines I want to keep. The first sketch was used using just a 2H pencil lead, but as I start to add more shading, I'm working with a HB and also a 2B lead, darkening the areas where I want the shadows to be. Once I feel that I've got enough of the line work traced to my new sketch, I'll slip a piece of paper behind the tracing paper to block out the undersketch, leaving me with a less messy image to work with. I'm going to slowly build up the shadows. I don't want to go too dark too soon, as that might be difficult to erase. Easing into the shadows allows me to build up the form. It also lets me take note of where light and shadow fall. It's always important to remember the head as a three-dimensional object, even when just drawing them from the front. This helps you with your future drawings of the head from any angle, which we will discuss in later videos, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video and it was useful. And as I mentioned earlier, check out my free guide, Drawing Heads for Beginners, in the link below. You can access the guide on any device, and once you have the guide, you will always receive any updates to the guide as soon as they are added, all made with you in mind to get you where you want to be with your drawing skills. Alright, thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks again, bye.